Mark Rogers, the voice of college football, here with the much anticipated, much awaited, and much debated Top 25. And it's much debated because it actually makes sense. It does not go along with the groupthink media and mainstream thought out there. It actually ranks teams based on the results and performance on the field and not the preconception. All right. When I was a little lad, I couldn't wait to see the top 25, or actually, giving away my age, the top 20 pre-1989 from the coaches poll, which was actually not the coaches poll prior to 1989. It was the UPI and the AP. There was no coaches poll at that point, but I couldn't wait to see it. All right. I have since learned that the rankings are flawed. You don't want to know something else? My rankings aren't perfect either. I've never said that they were. So anybody who has criticized me for claiming that my rankings are perfect and that they are law, no, they are just logical. They're just logical. It could be argued that my number 17 should be 15, or my 24 should be 22, or my 25 should not be in the poll, the ranking. So I get it. And that's why the comments section exists. And that's why I respond to the comments. I invite your commentary, your thought, your questions. Again, this is based on results. Ohio State, in my opinion, is not the 9th best team in the country. They have the 9th best resume right now based on the results on the field and the performance that have backed up the results. Hang with me here. There is a result. There is a winner and a loser. And in objective team sports, that's all that matters. That's all that matters in the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, is who wins the game, whether they win it 21-20 or they win it 55-0. It only matters that they won the game. Yes, there are tiebreakers that are utilized once out of every 5 years in the NFL playoff system where they have to differentiate two teams based on point differential. But 99% of the time, it's based simply on a win or a loss, the way it should be. But we have to evaluate teams because these teams don't play each other. But the results, the most important. So it factors in my evaluation and ranking above anything else. The result on the field, the win or the loss. But beyond that is the performance. I weight a 50-0 win more impressively than a 45-42 win against the same team, of course. And then thirdly is, of course, the opponents. Who did you beat? Who did you lose to? And what was the performance? If you lost to the number one team in the country 50-0, well, you pretty much lost to them like everybody else would. But if you took Alabama to a 28-27 game, or even a 31-17 game in which you competed, that should be weighted. Results, number one. Number two, the performance evaluation on the field. Number three, the opponents, both in the wins and the losses. Let's keep in mind that there are teams left off of the top 25 that factor in and were considered. So the top 25 is not a magical number. The 26th best team in the country is not significantly worse than the 25th best team in the country. It's just another spot. We could make it the top 18 or the top 12 or the top 49. All right. So let's understand that I've considered North Carolina at 6-2, but they have two pretty bad losses. Virginia's not good. Florida State is abysmal. So they are making their way back. They almost made it into the top 25 at 6-2, but they have no remarkable wins against good teams. They are playing Notre Dame soon. That will, of course, decide their top 25 ranking. Purdue is 2-1, but they've got a loss against Northwestern, a very good team, a team that is 4-0 and ranked highly because of that result. Okay, they were considered still to stay in the rankings at 2-1. All right, Colorado and USC, two teams in the Pac-12 that have posted 2 wins each. Two fairly unimpressive wins, very close wins against what we deem to be marginal competition. That's another layer of this, is that you have to start week one by almost complete assumption You have to assume how good these teams are based on how good they were last year, the personnel gains, the personnel losses, and the projection of how good they are. The more we play football, the less we have to assume, and we can go by track record. So USC's close wins against Arizona State and Arizona have to be judged a certain way because those two teams have not played anybody else. Also, Colorado has defeated Stanford and a UCLA team that is playing right now against Cal and looking pretty good. But those two wins are not enough to factor in to the top 25 yet. They are very close. All right, here's the top 25 that actually makes sense. Number 25 is Appalachian State. 24 is Texas. 23, Oklahoma. Find another factor in there. Oklahoma beat Texas, and they both have the same record. Therefore, the team that beat the other team is always going to get the nod in my rankings. Always. Unless, of course, there's a round robin of wins and losses. If Team A beat Team B, B beat C, but C beat A, then it goes back to the resume and the track record. But if one team beat another, that's what matters. Not my opinion or determination shouldn't matter. We have based sports rankings and college football rankings in particular because they're the only ones that matter. It's the only sport where the rankings matter. We have based it on perception and opinion. And we have teams ranked higher than other teams, even right now, that don't deserve it based on the on-field result. That's what matters. Do I think Clemson's better than Notre Dame? I do. I still think Clemson's better than Notre Dame. They lost the game head-to-head, and Notre Dame's undefeated. Now, if Notre Dame was 5-3, I would not rank them ahead of Clemson. South Carolina beat Georgia last year. Georgia went 11-1. South Carolina went 4-8. I could not rank South Carolina ahead of Georgia based on one game. So the records have to be a like record, either the same record or by within one game differential. Okay. Appalachian State's at 25, Texas 24, Oklahoma's at number 23. At number 22 is Iowa State. Iowa State beat Oklahoma. They have the same record. Number 21 is Louisiana. Louisiana. Why Louisiana? They beat Iowa State by 17 points on the road, and they continue to win, and they've only lost one game, a very close game, to a top 25 team. So Louisiana maintains its position above Iowa State in my rankings because my rankings aren't perfect. They actually make sense. All right. Number 20 is Oregon. Number 19, Wisconsin. 2 impressive wins for the Badgers. It's only 2 games, and they're the only team, I believe, in my top 25 that's only played 2 games, but 2 impressive wins. At number 18 is Coastal Carolina. 17 is Liberty. I do not believe that Liberty is the 17th best team in the country. I do not. They're undefeated. These are difficult choices that have to be made between the group of 5 and the Power 5. Auburn's at 16. I'm probably going to produce a video that really tear through the rankings that stand right now in the Associated Press and the coaches poll because there are some. The SEC currently only has 4 teams ranked. They would typically have 6 to 7 teams ranked. There's a reason for that. And it has nothing to do with how good the SEC is. It has everything to do with the scheduling this year. Another flaw in the rankings. All right, number 15 is Marshall. Number 14 is Tulsa. Tulsa had a big win against SMU, which knocked the Mustangs out of the rankings. 13 is Miami, another unimpressive win, but a win, and that's the main portion of this. Number 12 is Georgia. Number 11 is BYU. Here's our top 10. Oklahoma State's at 10, Ohio State at 9, Northwestern at 8, and Indiana at 7. You see a Big Ten theme there. Indiana at 7, Northwestern at 8, and Ohio State at 9. There is a very reasonable way that I differentiated those 3 teams, although it was very close. Ohio State has played 1 less game, and I matched up the opponents, and I came out with that determination. Indiana 7, Northwestern 8, Ohio State 9. Okay, Florida 6, Texas A&M 5. Top 4 looks like this. Clemson at 4, Cincinnati at 3 as they continue to impress, albeit against lesser competition, although some of those wins are against teams that have shown in other games that they are good teams, Tulsa being one. Notre Dame at number 2, and Alabama has been the most dominant, complete team in college football, have the most impressive wins and the perfect record. So they've got the results. They have the evaluation of the performance on the field being dominant against everyone, excluding about 50 to 55 minutes against Ole Miss until they put the hammer down. And, of course, the opponents, again, in the SEC, I believe to be the best league in the country. It can't be proven this year because there are no non-conference games. There's my top 25 that actually makes sense. Leave your comments, your questions, your debate topics down below, and I will address them right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Even if you don't agree with me, please like the video if you enjoy what we do here. Best discussion, debate, and analysis from myself, bloggers, broadcasters from around the country, and, of course, you have a voice here at the voice of college football.